The Ahsoka series is finally here, and we're going to break it down with a spoiler review. So let's get right into it here, and I love the fact that Dave Filoni updates us with what's going on in Ahsoka's world, with not a traditional Star Wars crawl, but certainly very similar. And that's really how this episode went. It was very similar in so many different ways and connected to so much of Star Wars so quickly. The opening of the Ahsoka series very reminiscent of A New Hope, as we get that really close look at that New Republic ship, and then at the same time I was reminded of the prequels because we have supposedly 2 Jedi contacting that ship, very reminiscent of Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan in the opening of the prequels. I gotta say I was a little underwhelmed with our villains introduction. Baylan and Shin definitely did kick ass, but we had seen most of that footage already in the trailer. But I understand that Dave Filoni wanted to keep that brief because we have to get to our protagonist, our main character, Ahsoka Tano. And the great thing about this scene with Ahsoka Tano is we get to see her playing a little Indiana Jones. She's hunting down a relic that Morgan Elsbeth told her about, one that will help Elsbeth find her way to Grand Admiral Thrawn. Of course, Ahsoka is able to successfully acquire the map, and then we get that great scene that we've also seen a lot of in the trailers, where we see Ahsoka Tano battling 4 different HK-87 droids. And again, I just love how this brings us back to the Clone Wars. We have Ahsoka Tano fighting droids. It's fantastic. But of course, Ahsoka is able to escape, and she meets up with none other than fan favorite from Star Wars Rebels, Hera Syndulla, who brings her up to speed on how Morgan Elsbeth was rescued by 2 Jedi, or should I say Force-wielding mercenaries. And from here we get to see what I believe was Ryder Azadi giving a speech to the people of Lothal, and unfortunately Commander Sabine is also supposed to be giving a speech, but she's not there. And I really enjoyed this scene, but I think Dave Filoni might have gone a little too far trying to get across that Sabine Wren is a true rebel. That said, it was great to see Ezra's old communication tower in live action, as well as Lothal. This show is truly Star Wars Rebels Season 5, and one of the things that the show gets across very clearly early on is that Sabine is missing her long-lost brother, Ezra Bridger. And I gotta say, one of the best parts of this episode was hearing Ezra Bridger's voice. It sounded so good, and Amon Esfande definitely has down the Ezra Bridger cadence. I really hope we get to see more Ezra Bridger during this season. That said, Ahsoka Tano makes her way to Lothal, giving Sabine Wren the map that she's discovered, and hopes that Sabine will be able to uncover and unlock the map. And if you've watched Star Wars Rebels, you know this is definitely in Sabine's wheelhouse. But unfortunately for Sabine, when she takes off to Ezra's tower with the map, Shin Hati, the apprentice to Baylan Skoll, arrives on Lothal in a scene that is very reminiscent to Darth Maul arriving on Tatooine, as Shin is using what seems to be a Sith probe droid. From there, the HK-87 assassin droids are able to get the map away from Sabine, and Shin Hati and Sabine Wren face off in a lightsaber duel. And despite the fact that Sabine Wren has had a lot of luck in lightsaber duels, her luck fails her in this duel, and she gets run through by a lightsaber, similar to Qui-Gon Jinn in The Phantom Menace with Darth Maul, which to me is very disappointing. Personally, I wish she would have had her hand or arm chopped off. But overall, I thought this first episode of the Ahsoka series was absolutely fantastic. I love how similar to the latest Batman movie, it really took its time and the camera lingers on certain shots. And of course, I loved all the Star Wars Easter eggs and connections. But hey, Star Wars fans, that's all the time I got for my review today. Let me know in the comments below what you thought. And as always, I'm Mike, and remember, the Force will be with you always.